I'll be sharing with you a short story that I wrote called Always Together, which highlights how my grandma was going through a roller coaster of emotions due to the death of her husband from pancreatic cancer. So, in a small house located in Pittsburgh, North Carolina, there was a loving and caring woman named Grandma Palmer. And by her side was her very sick husband who was dealing with pancreatic cancer. Throughout this small house that they lived in and spent most of their lives together, they developed and created so many wonderful memories and moments alongside with their four children. One day, that all changed as her husband's health began to get worse and the cancer started to spread to the point where he couldn't even stand on his 2 feet anymore. This caused Grandma Palmer to become concerned as she knew death was nearby for her husband and didn't know what she would do without him. Being the Christian woman she is, she prayed, asking God for a miracle, asking God for a change, and asking God for her husband to be healed. Unfortunately, on an unusual, beautiful Saturday morning where the birds were chirping loud and the wind was calmly blowing, Grandma Palmer noticed that the house was very quiet. She then went into the bedroom where her husband was sleeping in and tried to wake him up many, many times, pushing him back and forth, but then realized that he was never waking up. She then came to the realization that her husband had finally gained his wings and ascended to heaven, in which her fear had sadly came true. As many days and nights passed, Grandma Palmer didn't know how to feel, as she was by herself, and her husband wasn't there by her anymore. So she became in a state of loneliness, and the sadness took on upon her and depression. She would go throughout the nights crying, and tears coming down her face as fast as waterfall. And then she got mad, looked up, closed her eyes while looking up, saying to God, "Why did you take my husband from me?" Then opened her eyes and started to cry again. Grandma Palmer didn't know how to go throughout life anymore, as her main lover was not there. As weeks started to pass on, she was trying to find ways to help herself cope. So she ended up finding a wedding book full of her and her husband's wedding photos. While flipping through all the pages and going through all the photos, the one thing that she noticed at every photo she looked at was her husband smiling, and he was smiling right at her. She then kissed the photo as she cherished their love, cherished the moments that they had, and cherished the memories they had together. She then went to the bedroom closet and found a photo of her husband working on cars, and when she always wanted to be a mechanic. But even when that one photo that she found in that bedroom closet, the one thing he was doing again was smiling. And that's all he would do around her is smile. As she was looking at the photos, it wasn't tears of sadness, but it was tears of happiness. As she knew that her husband would be with her always. Also, while looking through the photos, she felt like her husband was in the presence of her. As she then started hugging herself, closing her eyes, hugging herself, and started smiling. As, like I said, his spirit was with her. She then opened her eyes and she told herself that she couldn't save these memories in her head. So she then bought a black journal and started writing down all the memories and moments that her husband and her had together. She then, after writing down all the memories that she could think of and the moments and the adventures they did, she knew she couldn't keep these things to herself. So she decided to share the memories with her grandchildren. She wanted her grandchildren to know how much of a person her husband meant to her, meant to everybody. And she wanted to especially let them know about the love that they have for each other. As she stood by till death do us apart. That love was never going anywhere. As Grandma Palmer adored him and she missed him. After sharing the memories with her grandchildren and everything, Grandma Palmer came to the realization that even though he is not here with her on this earth, that he will always be together with her through spirit and through her heart. Thank you.